It's LeGarrette Blunt here, man, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I just want to give you a shout out to the YouTube channel, MicroMike, man. Keep on talking everything Detroit Lions, and I just got to remind you, man, happy wife, happy life.
What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Mr. MicroMike, and today I'm doing my final Detroit Lions 7-round mock draft. This mock draft is what I believe the Detroit Lions are going to do, not what I want them to do. A totally different scenario. What I want with some of these picks, I prefer other individuals, but I'm simply going what I believe the Detroit Lions are going to do. Before I get into the video, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please do so. I do live shows Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I try to drop videos every single day. I do collaborations with other YouTubers on the net. And my whole idea of my channel is to do a different view comparative to what the legacy mainstream media does. What you hear about the Detroit Lions are generally negative when it comes to the mainstream media, and what I want to do is bring a positive light to our city. Our Detroit Lions have suffered a lot of bad losses, but it gets old when we hear nothing but negative, and so that's what I'm all about. And I have a lot of big things planned for our team, for my channel, and it's going to be bomb. It's going to be infinitely better than what you have seen as of late. And when it comes to the NFL Draft, doing a live show, it's going to be straight epic collaboration. Make sure you're there. It's going to be very, very fun. I noticed that 55% of the people that view my content are not subscribers, so please subscribe to the channel. It puts my videos above the legacy mainstream media. The more subscribers I get, the more likes that I get, the more comments that are placed in my video, it puts it above via YouTube algorithm. So please do so. I'd be very humble if you do so. Now, without further ado, let's get into this mock draft. Again, this is what I believe the Lions are going to do, not necessarily what I want them to do. Last year, I got 3 picks correct for the Detroit Lions. Let's make it 4 this year. And not necessarily the picks that you may not like. Generally, you'll see, and we know there's going to be some controversy in this draft, specifically this mock draft, so don't kill me on it. This is just what I think the Lions are going to do. Now, let's get into it. And with the first pick in the 2020 NFL MicroMike mock draft, the Detroit Lions trade the pick from 3 to 6 with the LA Chargers. And the trade is as follows. The Detroit Lions receive the 6th pick in the draft. maximize the space and confound the angles with the second level. Swift has multiple years catched up as an important member of a pass-catching game and has developed into a route tree and trustworthy hands for NFL level. He's a between the tackles and tight spaces. Swift can adhere to the strictly and physical brand of play that Georgia champions, as well as a chalk and design the running scheme with maximize his playing ability. Swift would be better served as a speed offense that maximizes his angular tempo and running style, strong zone flow. To me, he would fit perfectly with what Detroit Lions are trying to do. He can catch the ball, he can run the football in between the tackles, and he would be a very good complement to what we got going on with Bo Scarborough and Kerryon Johnson. Kerryon Johnson has been injured. We need to have an individual that can play and run the football. We could take a guard at this position, but the individuals they wanted to take in my mock draft were already gone. I wanted to take another guard, I wanted to take a specific defensive end, but they were gone, so I went with DeAndre Swift. And with the second round pick in the 2020 NFL MicroMike mock draft, the Detroit Lions with the 37th pick select Josh Jones, offensive tackle from Houston. After hearing what Bob Quinn said in his press conference, as well as my personal belief, I think Big V will be a guard for the Detroit Lions, but he can also swing to a tackle position. Here, Josh Jones fell to the Lions with the 37th pick, and they decided to take him, and he's a high-ceiling, low-floor offensive tackle prospect in an offensive line coaching dream. With his natural skills, John showcases dominant physical flashes on the field and possessive athletic ability to be a dominant pass blocker and a weapon in the run game. Jones' skill is significantly polished on the ground up. He has some raw and he pass sets and his footwork can get better, but is reactive to his live action over the set, over pursue. He's ideally can be weaned into a great NFL right tackle. To me, if we're going to use Big V in the guard, let's pick up a right tackle in this draft. He fell to the Lions in the second round. I think that would be a quality individual for the Detroit Lions. And with the 67th pick in the 2020 NFL MicroMike mock draft, the Detroit Lions take edge rusher from Utah, Bradley Anae. Bradley Anae is a high-effort competitor that makes his share of plays simply because of his hustle. He attacks to his neutral zone with urgency. He has some impressive reps of outstanding snaps, anticipation, and fluid release of his stance that are capable of drawing offensive tackle quickly out of their foot in cadence. Initial burst is excellence. He showcases good variety with his hands usage. Occasionally times he's perfectly executed gross drop, club rip combos that wonderfully complement his initial quickness off the ball. He competes hard with his high gap and run defender, mostly holds his own in exchanging power in trenches when setting the edge. He has some really good reps and gap shooting against the run and accelerates his burst motor and plays with the strength. Another thing that I took away from Bradley Anae is he practiced in the Senior Bowl and he really showed up. With the COVID situation and lack of bringing players in there, I trust Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia when they seen individuals from the Senior Bowl, and this was an individual who stood out and could fall to them, and I think this would be a great pickup for the Detroit Lions. And with the 109th pick in the 2020 NFL mock draft, the Detroit Lions select Donovan Peoples-Jones, wide receiver from Michigan. He's a wonderful blend of size, hand, ball skills, and erratic quarterback play at Michigan allowed him to showcase his ability to make adjustments to off-target throws and snatch the football securely outside of his frame. He can scoop out of low throw, but also work back across his momentum to pluck the football. Natural ball tracking skills, outstanding body control, and balance to win contested situation and hang on through contact. does a great job in extending throwing his windows, and he offers an exciting catch radius, fluid athleticism, and has an easy acceleration as he glides once to the open and out stride. Love how he stacks and creates leverage as a route runner, vertically cuts are seamless, has some post-catch ability, and creates yardage for himself. He sees the field well and has the ability to break tackles and competes like an alpha. He has 2 career punt returns for touchdowns, and he is spectacular. We don't know if we're going to have the individual who's been running the ball for us in special teams. We need a guy that can play special teams, as well as we need an individual that can be there when Marvin Jones is not, and same with Danny Amendola. It is important to get a wide receiver in this draft because we don't have one currently signed past the next year. We do believe Kenny Galladay will get re-signed, but we also need to have an individual on the opposite of him, and I think Donovan Peoples-Jones could be an excellent individual for the Detroit Lions in that sense. And with the 112th pick in the 2020 NFL MicroMike mock draft, the Detroit Lions picked a sleeper, and that is interior defensive line from Ohio State, DaVon Hamilton. I believe personally DaVon Hamilton can be the next Deshaun Hand. He is big and he's a powerful dude with his good athleticism for his size. He's a tough to move, an outstanding run defender that can quickly process, responds to compete for his gap. He takes on double teams and holds his own. Easily handles drives blocks and fights pressure while holding his ground. Love his ability to see play through the blocks, has enough lateral mobility for his role. He plays with good bend and a mid-leverage and maximizes functional strength. Has some appeal as a penetration style and defender lineman as well. He provides position and flex and a front. Hands are heavy and enable him to create quick leverage in his reps. Has ability to challenge the depth of the pocket and strong bull rush on passing downs. If he gets on the same level as a quarterback, he has no issue in disengaging and finishing on the play. You're noticing players from the Senior Bowl, and I think this guy could be the next Deshaun Hand, where he can be a very good young player immediately for our Detroit Lions. And with the 149th pick in the 2020 NFL MicroMike mock draft, the Detroit Lions select interior offensive line from Oregon, Shane Lemieux. Shane Lemieux is a big guy who has the physical tools to be a starting guard, gap, and power offensive system. He is a team reliant on guards and plays frequently in space, in or outside zone concepts, and won't find the same value in Lemieux. But he's a downhill rushing offensive lineman, finds excellent power at the power of attack, and stout play in tight quarters. Lemieux is highly experienced in functional athleticism, and he meets requisites that their three-hold despite not being considered an asset to this game. To me, this would be a quality pickup for the Detroit Lions on the offensive line in the 5th round. We took Crosby out of Oregon a couple of years ago in the 5th round. Why not take another offensive lineman from Oregon and help the interior of that line? And with the 166th pick in the 2020 NFL MicroMike mock draft, the Detroit Lions take edge rusher from Michigan State, Kenny Willekes. Kenny Willekes is 6'4", 252 pounds, racking up 47.5 tackles for loss, 22 sacks. Willekes is highly productive defender for Michigan State. He plays unmatched urgency and is highly competitive. While he may not play to the highest ceiling, Willekes does have a high floor at a 4.334. His modest play strength and athleticism will present challenges defeating blocks in the NFL and has become more reliant on his technique. At the minimum, Willekes should be a valuable rotational end as well as a special teams player, upside contingent as to get stronger and more nuanced. If we can get this guy in the 5th round, I think that would be ideal. In my mock draft, he fell to us. He is more projected to be a 4th rounder, but if we can get him in the 5th rounder, again, another individual from the Senior Bowl, and it really is something that I think we should see in our Detroit Lions. And again, I think getting an individual from the, someone that we may know considering this COVID would help us out. And in the 6th round, 182nd overall, the Detroit Lions select from Texas Tech, Braden Mann, punter. Mann is a premier field flipper in all of his college football with touch and talent on strict opposing teams near the end zone, and he can pooch the kicks. He offers additional value handling kickoffs and is above average open field tackler. He may need to sacrifice some distance for more hang time to prevent outblasting his coverage, but he has a chance to be a top 5 field flipper in the NFL. Look, we need to have a punter in our Detroit Lions. We lost our punter in free agency in Sam Martin. We need to get a guy who could be a top 5 punter. This guy can do it. I thought about taking him in the 7th round, but I wanted to make sure I got a starter for us immediately, so I decided to take him in the 6th round. And with our last pick in the 2020 NFL MicroMike mock draft, the Detroit Lions with the 235th pick take Lamar Jackson, cornerback from Nebraska. He is 6'2", 206 pounds. He has good overall athleticism and excellent length for the position. He is willing to tackle in the run game and has good efficiency to wrap up as a tackler. In the passing game, he does an excellent job using his length as a rerouter. He is good stab on the line in scrimmage and easily stays in his hip in the pocket to the receiver. His good technique and length allows him to recover as to on the receiver if he's gotten a step on him. He displays good eye and man coverage and also has very good ball skills, and he projects favorably in the red zone and goal line situations, as well as contested catch situations for 50-50 ball skills. And he's very competitive. He is an individual that could compete to make this roster as well as special teams and develop. He has a big body, and that is something I believe the Detroit Lions are looking for. With that said, folks, I appreciate you listening to my final mock draft for our Detroit Lions. Again, this is not what I want them to do. This is kind of what I believe they will do. Tell me what you think I did right, what you think I did wrong. Tell me individuals you would like to take, whether it be the 1st round or trades, or as well as 6th, 7th rounds. With that said, folks, make sure you wash your hands, and adios.